I'm live. How exciting. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Lunch with Mal, which is the normal day for Lunch with Mal. Just getting all of my different things set up here. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I don't need you. Oh, nope. Stop playing. Shush. There we go. It always like defeats me at first trying to get that on, get the feed up on YouTube or on YouTube, on FaceTube, whatever that thing's called, so I can see the comments and who says them there. Um, Let me just copy my title, put a comment, and we'll kick things off. Which was a way I could like do this stuff and some of this stuff in advance. That'd be cool. Boom. There we go. All right. Lunch with Mel. This is we're a little bit sporadic in the summer. I apologize for that. We're not gonna have a lunch with Mel next week either because it's family vacation week. We're going up to New Hampshire to North Conway and the White Mountains to sort of enjoy that time. Just being away from it all, not taking a laptop or anything. Um, will take my phone, of course. I actually have a sensitivity read that I have to get finished soon, and so I need to get that underway. And then I actually am doing. I might bring my laptop purely for writing because I have some writing I need to get done, and I kind of feel like next week might be an ideal week to do that. So who knows? So reach out if you're here. Say hi. I'm always happy to see who's around. I see a little heart. Liz left a little heart, a thumbs up. That's a thumbs up. Hey Liz. Um, but yeah, family vacation is always like one of our favorite times. We go up to North Conway, um, which is right at the foot of the White Mountains in New Hampshire, so Mount Washington and all of them. And usually my daughter and I we go on waterfall hunts in the mountains. So we find like trails, and we found a couple of places where not a lot of people really know about the waterfalls anymore. And like, there's one fall we go to that we've never seen another person there. We've never even seen another person on the trail to that waterfall. It was actually like lost for like 100 years. Like a guy painted some pictures there back in the day, and then just everybody forgot about it. So it's pretty cool that we've managed to find that. This is odd that no one's showing up on this stream. Every now and then this happens where we launch a stream and people don't show for a little while. It's kind of odd. It's like I'm here, I'm talking. Come on, Facebook, do your thing, share the news. I'm also using a new camera, which I'm kind of excited about. I know I'm such a nerd, right? I I get like so much joy out of so many different things. I get like I love clothing and fashion and makeup, and then I also love just to get dirty in the garden, just digging, getting my hands dirty. Love woodworking, and then I'm also like a tech nerd and like playing video games, building computers, cameras. Life is not long enough for all the interests that I have. It's clearly not fair. Um, but I mean, I would rather have all of these interests than not, right? So so one of the things I did not mean to do this segue, but this is a great segue. Um, Jill's messaging me right now, and I kind of wonder if it means something like my audio is not working. Oh, she can't find it. Is my audio working? Now I'm all paranoid about my audio. Yes, my audio is working. Okay, good. I see that. Yeah, she said she can't find the video. I just linked her. Maybe that's why no one's showing. It's one of those weird things where Facebook is hiding the video. But yeah, so hey there. I don't know who you are. It just says Facebook user, but hi. Oh, it's Jill. I got the other thing open. Um, so yeah, so talking about time management, and how like there's not enough time to do all the things in life that I kind of want to do. It's an interesting segue to the fact that I really need to actually take action on improving time management. So today I started working up a list of all of the things I need someone to help me with. And ironically, like I feel I feel like and this is kind of sad. One of those things is reading email. I just don't seem to have time to read all of my email. And it's actually like becoming a problem because I'm missing too many important emails. Um, and some of it's like because um, I get emailed from every ad account that I have access to, and I have access to about 170 ad accounts right now. So I'll get emails from all of them as when ads go live and or denied, all sorts of things. And then I also get important emails like Facebook failed to process our credit card, and our own ads are about to shut off, which happened last week. Um, and it took forever to get them back on because they kept denying every card that we had, regardless of whether or not there was money on it. And then the same thing's true for like the different for Wix, which is where we host our websites, both personal author websites and the Writing Wives. Plus, I have access to a bunch of other Wix websites that I've built for other people, and it's just like it's a struggle to like find the pertinent emails. So I'm actually going to hire um, a personal assistant of some sort, and I might also hire a project manager. So personal assistant is more managing my stuff, and project manager managing bigger things that we're doing as the Writing Lives, conferences that we're going to, getting software launches, who knows, all sorts of things like that. Um, and it's hard though, right? Like to make the decisions to to finally like step back from a particular task and have someone else help with it. I was speaking with an author just today, and she was talking about how she just frankly doesn't trust anyone to do a lot of this other stuff. And that's a problem. It's a little bit different too, because when you hire someone, like say your regular business, and you hire someone, you make more of a personal connection. You oftentimes have them on premises. You do background checks, stuff like that, and you have a little more certainty of who you're hiring. Although in some cases you also have greater risk. But sometimes when it comes to hiring just like some random person online to do things, like from to say for example, you wanted to actually have an agency run ads for you, you'd probably be spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month in agency fees on top of your ad spend, and that's a lot of money for a lot of people just sort of hand over someone to someone they're not entirely familiar with. Um, yeah, someone remote could probably handle the email. Um, I can even set up a system that forwards emails with certain tags to them directly, and then they can make sure that certain things are taken care of and stuff like that. I also have way too many email addresses that I have stuff come to. That's sort of a problem that I've created for myself. I'm kind of curious if anyone else has these issues. Like there's this busy work stuff in your life that that has caused problems, and you have trouble with letting go. Um, like I don't I'll take someone virtual. I'd actually prefer to have someone in person. I would actually like to have someone like sitting like right over there, at least 1 or 2 days a week that could be keeping up with things and working on stuff. And I could just be like, hey, can you handle this, or can you respond to this, or check in on this sort of thing, and have someone like that handy. Um, because there's also physical things like shipping, and that might come and go, like when we do Kickstarters and whatnot. But if someone could like handle boxing and shipping and arranging all of that stuff, that would make me a lot more prone to do more Kickstarters and giveaways and physical sales and stuff like that. So it's always tricky to figure out how to slice all that stuff up. Hey Rachel, how are you? Hey Gina. Yeah, Gina, that's the thing too, right? Like a lot of this stuff gets in the way. Like I don't it's called, I read this book eons ago, like back in the 90s. It was called Tyranny of the Urgent, where all of the urgent things that can give you can get done and then check off your list take precedence over the longer term things. And then the tyranny of the urgent stops you from having long term strategic thinking or doing, bigger projects like writing a book that take a long time. And it's a risk. And that's why I'm trying to think like, can I take all of these little things and move them off to someone else so I can think bigger and more strategic and stuff like that. Some of my sentences are, people always seem to say I talk quietly a lot. Let me see here. What's my volume at? All right. It's maxed now. I can't see it because it's on the back of the mic. So I have to like lift it up into view to see how it's doing. It's really funny. Like this is like a really high end mic. I mean, not really high end mic. It's a Yeti X. I don't know what you call it. It was like over $200. It's really good. No, I guess it's 169 is what it was. it's really good at picking up just my voice and not a lot of the background noise. But unfortunately, it's terrible at picking me up when I move away from the mic at all. So I'm like this. I'm just hiding behind my microphone all the time. So I'm making sure I'm talking right into it, and that's just weird. I think I need to buy I need to go further up and get an even better mic. Um, I'm just gonna become I'm apparently gonna need to become like a microphone connoisseur or become one of those people that knows about different condenser types and all sorts of crazy things like that. I sounded good when I was like right in the microphone. I think that's kind of the thing. Like this is meant to be like a professional audio podcast recording microphone, and I need a microphone that's designed for picking you up while you're on video, you know, and not why. Although this is great for if I want to eat, I could just like be sitting back here eating, and provided I wasn't smacking my lips or anything like that, it wouldn't be a problem. So Rachel says, I'm gonna actually put this on screen. Dun, 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 show. I also feel like, honey, like Jill, like some apps are really different because people in Google Meet never actually, whenever I'm doing one-on-one calls with people, no one ever says that my audio is dropping. Like never happens. But it seems to happen on group calls, like group Zooms and streams. It's really weird. All right. So Rachel says, I think we all have the admin problem, but while I've considered a VA, I always stop myself from moving forward because of control. I'm an indie for a reason. I also wonder if it would take more time to provide instructions. That's the thing, right? Like if it's like for example, like if you're a business and you're hiring an employee, it's sort of a long-term thing, and you're going to be their main gig, right? And you don't have to worry about like, is it worth it to actually train this person on this thing? And then also you have a lot better ways of following up on people. It's harder when you have a VA to do some of those things. Some of that stuff is tricky. The one thing that I've learned about hiring out people is to really hire out the things that you just don't like doing, and then find someone who specializes in that thing. And that's always the trick, right? Like it'd be kind of cool if I could find a jack of all trades, but I'd probably be better off if I hired someone who specialized in organizing inboxes, and handling tasks, and there's someone who was specialized in organizing inboxes and building a bunch of rules, and then someone who specialized in or like someone generic who could just sort of reply and handle my inbox, and then maybe someone else who specializes in project management and stuff like that. I think I have bigger problems in some regards. Although some authors are building empires, some authors have like really big things going on too. So it's not just because we run like other kind of business elements that we'd have to worry about that. Yeah, a lot of it takes stuff mentally off my plate. Like I worry, am I missing things in my email? I know I am, because on Mondays I go through my email and I find stuff from the prior week that like I'm sure I skimmed over that day and somehow I missed it. But I also take I'm like on a lot of consulting calls with people, and sometimes I'm just sort of like in a rush, just sort of like quickly scanning for anything that catches my eye in my emails. Rachel says, for instance, I take 2 or 3 days every quarter and create all of my social media posts. Those are personal to me, so no one else could do them. I schedule them. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I agree. Like stuff like your social media presence, I actually feel that you should manage that yourself as much as possible, or at least like do the writing of it all. And then someone else can like handle all the scheduling. And if it turns out that's really easy to do, then you could do that yourself. And there's software that makes it really easy. The only one that's tricky is TikTok, because you can't schedule things with TikTok. They don't have, none of the automatic scheduling systems work for that. So you have to go and manually open the TikTok app and whatnot. But I do like Jill actually, by and large, although we haven't been doing much lately, but like my author email, Jill sets it all up. She handles the swaps and makes sure that the swaps are in there and all the links are good and the sale items are all they're on sale. And she's verified that and puts the links into the newsletter. And then I actually write, the actual personal message in the newsletter. And that I think is a kind of a good way of splitting that up, where I still get to have like the personal communication element with my readers that matters, but then someone else just sort of does like all of the nuts and bolts stuff that's always going to be the same, or like it's going to be consistent, stuff like the swaps and so on and so forth. So I think that's like a great way of breaking up that kind of effort. and that's something I need to work out. But yeah, like I should pull up the list of all of the things. It's going to be my message to Jill. Dun, dun, dun. So for those of you who don't know, we're actually building software. It's called Solaris. So that's part of what's made me need to like break things up more, because I'm actually, there are days where I need to spend like the entire day just really focused on software development. And also I ship, we get people ordering books and whatnot. It's not a lot, but when we do Kickstarters, it's a lot. Like this year, we've probably mailed out 150 to 200 packages at least, possibly more. And so we have 2 stores, and I swear I miss the ones from Etsy. Because I just looked at Etsy today, and I'm like, I like the day's the deadline to ship something. I'm like, I don't remember ever seeing a notification that I need to send this thing out. So like someone who like can check the 2 stores that we sell books on, someone who can inventory all of our books, because I have 128 titles now, and some of them, a lot of them are we have them here, and a lot of them we don't. And what if I'm going to cons to do signings? What do I need to order? Like just to manage inventory, manage stock is a thing. And then to, manage all the ordering for 20 books for all the books I'm going to need for that, make sure they're ordered on time and they get shipped to the right place. We have a way of getting them, which is a logistics thing in itself, right? Like getting books to a conference is oftentimes hard, because unless you're going to bring them in your suitcase, getting them shipped to hotels can actually be pretty expensive. A lot of hotels will charge you a pretty penny to do that. Tracking writing deadlines, because I have my own books. I have writing I do for other people. I'm working on a fiction project for a RPG game maker who makes some really big RPG games, and they're working on their own right now, and it's really cool. So I'm actually writing about like this this Atlantean / god, like person not from Earth, who also like built the Atlantean civilization and is now building the Roman civilization to keep the outer gods at bay, kind of thing. Like it's a really cool mythos that they made up, and I love Roman history. So it's during the time of Marcus Aurelius, and I'm writing about this character who actually is like behind the scenes, and she's like a shapeshifter, and they got me to do it because I'm trans, and she changes between male and female and whatnot. And so that let us create a character that that is like diverse and well represented and stuff like that. And they and so I'm writing for that, and I write articles for different places, and I'd like to write more, and I have to write our own articles for our own stuff, and I need to write articles and content for Solaris. Like there's a lot of writing I have to do. And then of course we're always running classes and sessions, and I have due dates for all of that sort of thing. Reviewing my emails. I have a lot of like basic Photoshop tasks that I need to do. I need someone who can like do a lot of that. Like, hey, take these covers and adjust the contrast on them all, or something like that. I need someone to do ad reports and go over people's ads and whatnot. I'm going to, as Solaris, our software that we're writing for managing marketing for authors, as that speeds up, we're going to need someone to like at least keep an eye on customer support, and then probably eventually hire a customer support person. And then I have to update my ebooks and print books. Like I have to update back matter every so often. And when you have as many books as I do, that's a monumental undertaking, and kind of just doesn't get done. And then actually get all my print books made, because I realized I still have like 20 books that I never did in print. And it's just like, damn, all this stuff adds up. So yeah, so it's come to a head, and I've finally had to accept the fact that I have to hire people to do these things. And I've been a manager a lot in my life. I've managed teams upwards of 20 people who all directly reported to me, which is more than you should ever have direct report to you. And I know that eventually management will take all of your time. So I have to like figure out how to hire just enough people to take the load off, but not create a new management load. So that's something I've got to work on. But speaking of classes and sessions that we have going on, there's one that's really cool is coming up. If you write romance, we're doing a romance author VIP day, and we have 2 seats left. And the class it's on August 31st. It's 6 hours long. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on with the romance authors that are there, and sort of a classroom scenario where there'll be some instructions, some work on your own, and then coming to me with questions or needing help on certain things, on getting ads up and running. And then there'll be a review period. It won't be as long, 2 weeks later, where we'll actually review the ads everybody made as well, the classroom experience. And the thing I think is really nice about that is normally if you're doing like a one-on-one sort of thing, like we go at your pace and we only answer the questions that you have or deal with the challenges that we've set up to deal with. But if it's a classroom experience, you'll learn from the questions the other people are asking and what they're doing and their thoughts and stuff like that. And you get a much bigger collaborative boost out of that. So that's like I said, August 31st from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have 2 spots left, and it is $797 for that. And then the follow-up class as well. Correct me if there is a follow-up class, right, Jill? This is the one that we were doing a follow-up class for. See, this is why I need like someone to help me with these things, because sometimes Jill and I talk about a lot of options and ways to do things, and I don't always remember the final decision that we made. And actually, that person possibly could do a lot of stuff like for both of us in that regard. So I don't know if anybody is interested in any of those tasks. I would, for certain things, I'd prefer someone to be local for like my personal assistant stuff, but from like a project manager person, that person may not need to be local. So this is me, like I'm half talking about like time management and half talking about like, hey, I need to hire someone. Yeah, 7 days wouldn't be long enough. Okay, good. So I did remember that correctly. Yeah, I think we'd want 2 weeks so we can really make sure that, because the problem with ads and analyzing ads is that most of the reporting that we have is a little bit delayed, and you kind of have to assume like there could be as much as a 3 to 5 day delay on ad reporting. So we need like a week of data and then a week to make sure that data is good, and then to possibly see where the trends are going from beyond that. So yeah, that's that class. And then of course the other class that we have coming that I've talked about before is there's a class on AI art, and we're going to focus on like how AI art works, ethical uses of AI art, and that's where we're going to talk about how it works, so you can understand, like you can make your own decision. Like this particular AI art generator is what I would feel is ethical, and this one is not. I want to give everybody as much information as possible to make those decisions. And then the second class in that series will be how to take art that you have, whether it's AI or otherwise, and then actually build covers with it, with a heavy focus on typography, and low effort artwork. So like taking some art you have, maybe finessing it, playing with colors a little bit, maybe doing a little bit of composite work, but not like actually having to draw anything. And then big emphasis on typography, because typography is make or break on a book cover. If you get the typography wrong, you can take an amazing piece of art and make it look like a poster, or make it look worse than it does. Like the typography needs to enhance the art, and then it also needs to convey genre and trope. And there are very specific rules that exist for that sort of thing. And the rules are based on the expectations. So reader expectations are XYZ, and that's actually what's created the rules for why we do certain types of typography on certain types of books. And I have a very strong belief that that's one of the most important things when it comes to book covers is getting that stuff right. So yeah, that's that particular topic. So reach out if you're interested in that. You can get both of the classes together at a discount, or you can just attend one of the classes if you don't feel that you need it. I'm actually really excited about the AI art one though. There's a lot of cool stuff in there that we can talk about. And there are AI art programs you can use for generative art that were trained entirely on licensed and uncopyrighted work. So if you're worried about that sort of thing, those ones aren't quite as good, but they're catching up. So I think it can be good to know about those. And then the one that's the best is Midjourney right now. Midjourney is a little bit dubious in how they got all of their art. That I think personally that I don't have an issue with how it's been done, but some people do. And really what matters is what the courts think in the end. And it also kind of matters what the courts globally think, right? Like if major economies decide that it's okay and other economies decide that it's not, and then you sell your books internationally, like it's going to be an interesting couple of years how that stuff's all going to pan out. That's for sure. But I also think that like ignoring, and I'm AI, because we don't actually have AI. We have machine learning, advanced machine learning, but it's not intelligent by any stretch of the imagination. It's like capable of understanding what we're talking about finally. It used to be that you had to be hyper specific with computers, and now we can actually we can actually have them infer context, which is groundbreaking. And that's really what we're experiencing. We're experiencing computers understanding context. Um, I love, this is one of my favorite segues, but back when we first started talking about like having computers interact with the physical world, that means that they need to have senses, right? They need to be able to see and hear and eventually maybe touch. Right now, we're really focused on seeing and hearing, having so computers can process those two senses. And it's really weird, by the way, saying all this as I'm staring into a camera. It's like a, you know, it's got like a big lens on it and everything. So it's like just, I feel like I'm talking to Hal as I'm saying all of this. Hal 9000, 9000, 2000, 9000. But back when we started doing, this was back in like the early aughts, when we were doing photo recognition of things, like can computers recognize an object? So if you taught a computer, if you like took a coffee cup, do I have a coffee cup here? No, I don't. Well, if I took this, oh my goodness, I got to open this without spilling it everywhere. Give me 2 shakes. Come on. These glasses we have, once the lids get wet, they expand. I mean, they're bamboo, so that makes sense. So if you taught a computer that this is a jar, but you taught it that this was a jar while it was like full like this, and then you emptied out the jar and you said to the computer, what is this? It wouldn't know. And then if you taught it, you know, that whether it's got liquid of any level or liquid full, like you'd have to basically train it on every level of liquid and say like, hey, no matter where the liquid is, if liquid's here, 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 if you see no liquid, if it's full of liquid, then it's still a jar. And the computer will be like, okay, got it, you know. And then you'd be like, what's this? And it'd be like, I don't know. I got no idea what that is. You know, and then you teach it that that's still a jar, but it has a lid. And then you have to teach it like what lids, like it's a small, and then you add a straw and the computer has no idea again. And so we've taught the computer's context. We said like, hey, this is a lid and this is a jar. And if you put them together, you have a jar with a lid. And if you have a straw, it's a jar with a straw. And then you can take a straw and you can stick it in something else. And people are like, oh, cool. That's something else with a straw. I get it. You know, if they know what the something else is. And that took us 20 years to do, basically, to get to that point where we could teach computers that. I mean, it's been a hockey stick kind of progress thing, right? Like it started out and then boom, we've really figured out a lot about that and how to do it better. But that's really what we've gotten to with computers, is we've just gotten to the point where we've taught them context and they understand context well. And that's why I'm not super keen on how we use the word AI a lot. I use it for convenience, but it's really just contextual generation of data that we now have. And we teach computers the same way that we teach ourselves. We've learned that the best way to teach computers is to teach them ourselves. Teach them the way we teach ourselves by teaching them these smaller concepts and then putting them together into bigger concepts, you know, and going from there. So that's kind of my spiel on this particular topic. But that's why I'm not really against how we've trained AI on art, because it's the same way that we train humans on art. You know, we learn by observing the world around us and then reproducing it. That's the whole shtick. So we're doing that as well, and I'm really stoked about that. But I also have the software called Solaris, and if you haven't watched the video in the Writing Wives Facebook group, there's a video where I walk through Solaris a little bit, and I also link to our Discord server where you can gain access to it. And Solaris, what it's doing right now, it's just baby stages. What I've released is a read-through calculator that does not require you to fill in a spreadsheet. And then you can also store your read-throughs, and I'm going to make it so people can actually then view, if you put in your read-through for each month of the year, it will actually it'll show you trends in your read-through and stuff like that. Is it getting better or worse? And then a pricing planner and an ROI calculator. And I'm really excited about those, because the pricing planner, what's going to let you do is say like, okay, given your read-through that you fed into the system, here's what would happen if you changed your prices. And there'll be some estimating in there based on what I've learned from all of the accounts I've seen. And then actually, as authors feed it more data, it's going to become more intelligent in learning, like, okay, on average for authors in this genre, when book 1 is 99 cents and book 2 is $4.99, this is an expected read through that you would get. You know, like we're actually going to start to get data like that, so people can be like not just shooting in the dark all the time, or dealing with anecdotal information from other people. So it's going to get better and better as it goes. And then the ROI calculator is going to be like, okay, well, given your conversion rates and your ad costs and whatnot and your read through, here's how much money you can expect to make with different things that you do. So you can at least have like a benchmark that you can measure against. And that's just the beginning of it. Then there's going to be more advanced ad analysis stuff that's coming, and some pretty sweet tools. And eventually, like stuff like category analysis and reporting and AMS ad analysis and reporting and all sorts of shiny things. Yeah, Gina, I agree about that. By the way, that some jets could stand to be cooled, and I think the people that are really anti AI in 20 years are going to be like the people back in the early 1900s who would yell at people driving cars saying "get a horse." We're gonna look back and we're like, oh yeah, that was no one's sticking with horses. We're all moving to cars. I mean, some people will, and there's gonna be bespoke industries still around that, but it's not gonna be like it was before. Yep. Yeah. Generalization is what it's called in AI stuff as well, Jill. Exactly. And we are moving towards what's called a general AI. That's sort of like the next big thing is trying to build AGI. AGI actually will be when we start getting on the cusp of actually building an artificial intelligence. And the really wild thing about it is that, like, even in our own brains, different parts of our brains specialize in different things. And so there are people that are taking a bunch of different AIs that are good at disparate things and gluing them together to make an AGI, which is kind of wild and fascinating. I think to be honest, the biggest problem with AI isn't the AI, it's the humans. It's that we already see frequently humans, just because they want to mess around trying to get AI to do bad things or say bad things or just be dumb shits. It's like, oh man, if AI do anything evil, it's because of a garbage in, garbage out situation. So yeah, it's a whole thing, but yeah. So I think that's kind of all I had to talk about today. I I'll keep people informed as I go through my ongoing saga of actually for reals hiring people to do things, or contracting at the very least. But I think that'll be interesting as that goes, as I personally cope with having to delegate, because I haven't had to delegate in like 8 or 9 years. It's been a stretch since I used to manage a lot of people. So I've got to relearn some things, and also like try to not to make certain mistakes I've made in the past. And also a new complication I'll have is I'm spending my own money to do this. Previously, it's sort of like it's the company's money that's being spent to build my team. And theoretically the company has a buffer, but when you're doing it yourself, it's a different story, right? Because like you have to make sure that that there's an ROI on the investment that you're making, that sort of thing. So that's a whole situation as well. Where was I going with this? I had a destination. Yeah, so I guess I'll keep people informed as I do that. And if you are interested in our romance VIP day, hit myself up or Jill up, or actually Jill said she was going to put a link in the chat, but I think she's helping Eva with something right now. So let me grab that link because she gave it to me. Here we are. Oh, it's 727, not 797. There you go. Anyone interested in it actually might be the right link because it's got like a bunch of stuff. No, it worked. Cool. Yeah. So feel free to hit that up. And if you are interested, by the way, in working with us, let me know. Or if you know someone you think might be a really good fit, let me know. I think could be useful. So, Jill got it. And she got the clean link too. Look at that. So yeah. So hope you guys have a fantastic week and weekend. It's finally like consistently nice here and not just raining and 60 degrees Fahrenheit all the time. So I'm stoked about that. And like I said, next week's family vacation. So we're going to be off in New Hampshire. So there won't be a lunch with Mel next week, but I think that's going to be the last major lunch with Mal interruption for the summer. So you're going to have more consistent Mal going forward. But I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.